No price talk and no Lambos. This is not another crypto podcast. Welcome to Ignition. I'm your host, Jillian, and each week we will be looking at the problems solved by blockchain. I'll be going deep with the people building the apps and communities which are changing the world around us. Good morning, and you're listening to the EOS Dublin podcast called Ignition with me, Jillian Gotzel. Now, I have a really unusual guest. I know I say that every week, but this week it definitely is. It's not your average guest on the Ignition podcast. His name is Jason Burwood, and he's the inventor of Crypto-Millionaire. Woo! Yay. So, Jason, you're English?
I am.
And you're living in England?
Yeah, I live down in Dorset.
Oh, Dorset. Oh, your accent isn't this. Give us a good, strong Dorset accent.
Well, I haven't got the Dorset accent because I'm from Surrey originally.
Oh, right, okay.
I've got a Surrey accent.
Okay, I was going to say that's not a Dorset. I can't even do a Dorset accent.
Yeah, they talk a little bit. No, I can't.
No, that's
Irish. No,
okay. We don't do accents, but
I do board games. I don't do accents.
Okay, actually, that's what I'm saying. So, which came first? You're inventor of this crypto board game. Which came first, board games or blockchain?
Blockchain. Blockchain came first. Yeah.
Okay, and how did that come about?
How did I get into blockchain? How did I discover it? Well, I didn't actually hear anyone talking about Bitcoin or blockchain or cryptocurrency till about I would have been in the middle of 2017. So I don't think I'd ever heard of it before then. And I heard some people talking about it and that they'd made loads of money and kind of went over my head, didn't notice it. And then a friend of mine, end of 2017, when it was going crazy, said, you need to buy some Bitcoin. I went, what's Bitcoin? So anyway, I looked into it and I saw this chart that had just gone from down there to way up there. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to miss out. Quick, I need to buy some. And that was in December and January 2018, just at the peak.
Oh, no.
And I watched it all go down. But I didn't invest much, fortunately.
Well, I did the similar that at Christmas of 2017, because I'd only been in it 6 months. I was so excited. And so I bought my daughters. And also I came from a very broke background, you must understand. So I had €100 spare for eeach of my daughters, which was a huge amount of money for me in 2017. And I told them to go and buy some Bitcoin on Coinbase, which they did in December 2017.
Yeah,
it's worth about a fart at the stage.
Yeah, without that, I wouldn't have come up with the idea for the game. So,
so first of all, let's go back to what do you like about board games? Are you a board game player?
I think I've always played board games since a kid. I'm of the age that I grew up playing board games, and I've sort of carried that on with my kids. And kind of out of the blue, I suggested to someone about creating a board game, and yet I'd never done it before in my life. But for some reason, this idea came up, and he said, "Yeah, great. It's based on some mindset books." And suddenly, I then had to go about creating a board game. And for some reason, it must have been an untapped skill because I got into it, and I came up with this game, which was really good, and that was about a year before I got into, heard about blockchain. And as soon as I started looking at it and I looked at its potential and what it could do, I thought, oh my God, I could do a board game on this for sure. So, and that was early 2018.
Well, so tell me, are board games actually on the increase as well?
Well, that's the really great timing with it as well, because, over the last 10 years, they have been on a massive increase. We're launching on Kickstarter, and on the Kickstarter alone, I believe the figures have doubled in the last 3 or 4 years. I think it's gone from something like 80 million in about 2015 up to 165 million a year. So it's doubled in just the last 3 years.
Just in board games?
Just on the board games.
Whoa.
Whereas interestingly, video games have actually decreased on Kickstarter. That might just be a Kickstarter phenomenon, but board games tabletop games are flying at the moment, which is really good.
That's it's very interesting. So tell me about the game, the crypto game that you have invented.
Yeah, so I've always kind of liked the Monopoly style of game, ones that are fairly simple to get your head around. You can get them out with the kids and just play them pretty easy. So I think that must have been in my head when I came up with the crypto. So I've kind of I've done an updated version of that really, and just I've put two sections of play onto the game. You've got an outer square and an inner square, and you do different things on those two squares. And one thing I didn't like Monopoly was it could go on for days. I used to play with my brother and we were playing for like 3 days. And so on this one, on the Crypto-Millionaire, I put a finite finish on it. So it's the first person to get to 1 million in cryptocurrency, and that's the winner. So it's quite nice that it's got a finite end to it. But there's all sorts of stuff going on the game. So you go around buying up the 16 crypto assets on the board. So you go around buying those up first, and then you've got wild cards you collect, which you use when you move to the middle. And then in the middle, you've got a whole other set of cards and things that you do. So, yeah, it's pretty
cool. So what's the age profile for the people to use the game?
Well, officially, we've put from age 8 on it. But my daughter, when she first started playing it, she was 6. She was 6 when she was playing it. And she, with a little bit of help, she could play it. And she is probably the biggest fan out of all of my kids, which kind of surprised me because I've got an 11 and 13-year-old boy. They like playing it, but Jess, my girl, she loves playing it.
That's mad. And you were saying there's 16 digital assets in the game. They're actually real ones, aren't they? These are not pretend. These are real projects.
Yeah, they are now. Yeah. So when I originally came up with the game, well, the very, very first one, which was literally done by hand, I actually put my portfolio around the board thinking maybe I can promote my portfolio. And I thought actually I might have some copyright issues with their logos and things. So I then changed them to completely made up ones. Pseudo names were on there. But it didn't feel real. And so a friend of mine actually suggested maybe you could sell those spaces to blockchain projects as like advertising space. So a good friend of mine, Pete, who could sell ice to the Eskimos, went about trying to get blockchain companies to pay for a space on the board. And after 9 months, we didn't actually get anywhere. So, and that's when I was supposed to launch at that point. So we kind of were a bit flummoxed as to what to do. So we had a couple of months off and I had a rethink about it. And I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll offer the places on the board for free, and then they can then promote the launch of the board game to their social media following. So there'll be a bit of a value exchange. And that worked really well. It literally took 6 weeks and I'd filled up the board, and we've already got 2 or 3, over the top of that as well.
You're queuing up for the next time. Because I think, am I right in saying they're not going to stay there forever? You're going to change these around.
Yeah, we wanted to sort of keep it a little bit fresh as we go on in time. So yeah, after 25,000 copies are sold, yeah, we'll put another set of projects on the board. So yeah, it just keeps a nice flow. I mean, that's just a drop in the ocean to how many there are, but at least it gives an introduction into a few of them.
Well, it will be nice when history comes to be written to know which ones succeeded and which ones perhaps didn't. Which ones are...
Look back at the board and think, who was that? Oh, look, that company, look at that. They were on the board back then. You know, yeah.
That's a baby apple or something.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. So tell me, you're launching the Kickstarter. You have everything. You have a beta version of it. It's all designed. Everything is in place. You're just now launching the Kickstarter campaign to fund production of the first units. So, yes. But you have a little sting in the tail, isn't it? It's a secret, is it?
Well, yeah. So what part of sort of the marketing plan is ideally what on Kickstarter you want to try and fund your project as soon as possible. So what I'm doing is I've got a little VIP list that I've come up with. So these people that are on the list will be notified of this first day of launch. And this is a secret. I'm not announcing when the game is launching. So on the first day, they'll have access to a discounted. So, in exchange for them coming in and bidding early, they'll get a discount. So, yeah, it's going to be in September, but the exact date is a top secret.
Ooh. Yeah. Well, this podcast should go out in the middle of August, so in time perhaps to get some more interested parties involved. If somebody is interested in becoming a VIP for the Crypto-Millionaire board game for Kickstarter campaign and get a great discount, where can they go to sign up?
Yeah, there is a link which is probably easier to put in your show notes or something. But
Sure.
There is a website address that's attached to it, which is cmgame.vip.
Okay, we'll put that in. If you send over, I'll put it in the link with the podcast so you can go and sign up and be one of the VIPs.
And if anyone goes onto our website, which is CryptoMillionaireGame.com, then on various places on there, there's a link to link through to it as well.
Excellent. Brilliant. Well, I wish you every success. Sounds like a lot of fun. And we'll be watching this space come September.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on the show.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks.